She's an award-winning writer, a hunting guide, archery and rifle instructor, keynote speaker, and all-around outdoors woman who encourages you to get outside, hunt, fish, shoot, and savor all that life has to offer. And now, here's your host, Mia Anstine.
Well, hey, hi, hello. It's great to be visiting with you again. Thank you all for tuning in. I do appreciate you listening, and I hope that you learn things through the show and that you just find different interesting things, either with the outdoors, hunting, fishing, shooting, or even just country living and getting connected to an outdoor lifestyle. Today, I'm going to be sharing a good friend of mine and a project that he's done that he's been working on for years. And it's been wonderful to see the success that it has gained over probably the past decade. But before we get going, I also wanted to share a couple of links to products or websites where I make a little bit of an affiliate. I guess it's a commission, but I want to share those because it does help support the show. And I appreciate those of you who do buy things there and use the codes. So be right back.
This summer, whether at the range or in the field, WSI Sports Hypertech bamboo tanks, tees, and leggings will have you covered. Visit WSISports.com to support the show and use the affiliate code MACO10 for 10% off your purchase. All products are proudly made in the USA. WSI is bringing back pride in American-made clothing. Again, that code is MACO10 for 10% off your order at WSISports.com.
Hey guys, are you looking for a stylish concealed carry shirt? Check out Tarn Cap Gear. With print reducing patterns, concealed carry snaps, and minimal branding, Tarn Cap's cloak of invisibility is what you have been waiting for. Visit mia.limited/tarncap and use the code Anstine for 10% off your purchase. Again, that's mia.limited/tarncap and use code Anstine for 10% off your order. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. As I said, before we get going today, I wanted to share a poem with you. And this poem is by Robert Polsky, and it is called The Horse's Eye. I think I've shared this on my website many years ago, and I shared a story about one of my horses, and his name was Geronimo, and he was an amazing horse. I'll put a link in the show notes to that. And always, anything that we discuss, there will be links in the notes when you are done driving or when you're at a point where you can stop and check it out. You can follow those links and learn a little bit or, just broaden those horizons. But anyways, the horse's eye. The horse in equine beauty brings a galloping of dreams. Full close to its mother's flank, soaks in the sunny rays, eats amid the fragrant flowers at home here upon the heathered moor. The horse, each a subtle chestnut dapple with mane and tail of old scroll ink, gallops so playfully in a day she reads me. With every micro movement she makes, and as I read her, our everlasting bond is made. The equine eye tucked beneath the woolen gray sky, it is of a prey animal like the prey animals we are. The horse's hooves meet the ground of our valley grove. Eyes do not glow with a calming light. They cannot heal, emanate insidious neon, burn through us like hypodermic needles in the frail, darkening veins of our dreaming, illuminate Lyle urban wastelands too dead to awaken. This vigilant, ever wide awake eye remains unseen. We cannot ever hope to fathom its cold steel depths. That is The Horse's Eye by Robert Polsky. I also wanted to share a little bit with you, a little bit more about horses. And so I wanted to talk to you. This is from eyeofahorse.com, and it's about equine assisted learning. And this is kind of learning therapy. There's different names for it. But these are experiences where you engage in activities with horses. And when you're doing equine therapy or assisted learning, you're coached and you're guided as you deal with the horses. And basically, you become a team, you and the horse, and the person that's guiding you, and you find answers to questions about yourself that maybe during everyday life, you haven't been able to grasp or connect with. And so maybe there is something that has been weighing on your heart. Maybe there's trauma in a past experience that has been hard to deal with. Working with the horses, you can actually unlock some of these boxes, and that might sound a little scary or intimidating, but really, when you focus on this learning and you're patient with it, you can help build problem solving skills. You can become more self confident. You can actually, these maybe intimidating or scary things, you can actually build confidence to be able to deal with them. And you can do that all while working with a horse. And you don't even have to, I mean, some people are terrified of horses. You don't even have to ride a horse to do this, although in some instances there are skills where you will mount a horse and there's different trust activities that you can do while you're riding a horse. But you don't even have to do that. You don't even have to mount the horse to have some of this healing and growth occur. So, something else that I wanted to tell you is if you research horse chakras, horse development, their communication, you will learn that horses can feel your heartbeat from 10, 12 feet away. They can feel your energy. And there's something very empowering when you look into a horse's eye. And their eyes are very deep. And it's something that's interesting because horses can and humans can deeply connect. And me personally, something that I really enjoy is I will go out into the pasture. And it's funny because when you have a halter in your hand, horses are a little different depending on the horse. I actually have one who, as soon as he sees the halter, he's like there with his head down, like, okay, let's go. He's so excited. But if you go out and touch the horses, you can actually press certain pressure points on the horse, and the way you touch the horse can calm the horse. And something else you can do is you can just stand in an arena or a corral with the horse and just stand there. And if you try to go to that horse and the horse doesn't want to come to you, then you're putting too much pressure. But if you release that pressure, horses will feel your heart rate. And if you can do some box breathing, maybe you could breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold 1, 2, 3, 4, and out 2, 3, 4, and hold 2, 3, 4. So if you do that and maybe take a step closer, let the horse know you're there. I mean, you don't have to make aggressive movements, but eventually that horse will probably come to you. They're very curious. And it's something that's very rewarding is to just be patient and wait and have that horse come to you. So these are things that you experience if you're ever in some type of equine program where you work with horses. So it's just something that I wanted to share and has a little bit to do with today's guest. And also, today's guest, we used to guide hunts together, and he actually trained a few of the horses that are in our squad. And a few of our horses are getting kind of old, but there is one Beaver. If any of you have ever come to visit, and if you have ridden Beaver, then Eddie is the one who trained him as a colt. He broke Beaver to ride, and Beaver is one of those horses that you look at him and you can just see the history and his connection to his tribe because he actually is an old Navajo horse, he's old now. But, anyways, I want to tell you a story about another old Navajo horse that we had. And this is one that I said I'll link in my show notes for you. And it's one that I wrote, oh gosh, now it's been almost 10 years ago that I wrote this little thing, an ode to one of my horses. This is called Stories from a Mountain Horse. I stand here enjoying the sun. I chat with a friend and talk about fun. I wish he could share with me and tell it all. Can you imagine the stories that he has to tell? Can you imagine a life lived so well? A horse, a guide, a Mustang, a huge heart, a fighter, a winner. The A squad. He's been to the top of each mountain. He's a hunting machine. His face is gray with age and experience, the years, the miles, the tales he has to tell. A warm, sunny meadow on a summer morning, a frightened woman on her first ride, a cheering family as her fears subside, a determined hunter, a loaded pack saddle, and a switchback trail, a bugle on a moonlit night, a celebration near the campfire after a stalk and a ride. Cold mornings covered in frost, thick with snow, climbing never lost. The sweet, fresh blades of grass breaking through the snow. A race for the honor and winning it all, you know. Elk, deer, bear, turkey, grouse, once in a lifetime moose. All special hunts. All memories that made him proud to have this gray face, wisdom of seeing it all. And now, relaxed, sunning, taking it in, you are still a champion, and I know you are proud, old friend. I must say that the poem does bring a tear to my eye. All of this that I've written in this poem, this was on a morning where I was standing out in front of our house and visiting with old Geronimo. And this was when he was too old to go. And so he stuck close to the house. We usually keep the older ones up so we can keep an eye on them. But he was, I mean, obviously a horse, but he was a guide. He was one of the guide's horses. He would lead the string. He was wild at heart. He had a huge heart. He went like some people and some animals, like you ask them to go, and some people will go, go, go. They'll try, they'll dig deep and go further. And he was one of those horses. You would ask him, and he would just put everything into it that he had. He had a huge heart. And he would fight and just get to the top of the roughest terrain. He would, carry the largest packs. And I mentioned that he's a winner because, later I talk about a race, but we'll get to that. The A squad. So the A squad is the A team. A squad is your top horses. They are the A squad. They're the ones that they teach the young ones. They lead everything. They are dependable. You can count on them no matter what. And he was the A squad. He was a leader of the A squad. He definitely would climb any mountain. I wish I could find the picture of him on top of Saddle Mountain on Wolf Creek Pass in Pagosa Springs. But yes, he was a hunting machine. And as you grow old, just like dogs, the horses, humans grow gray hair, horses get gray on their face, and you can just see the miles on them. But I also just standing there that warm morning and visiting with him and just talking to him about memories. He was a tough horse who you would brush his tail or try to shine him up, and he would just look at you like, what are you doing? I am not a parade pony, And so just thinking of him and his attitude and being up in the high country, at timberline and waking up in those beautiful meadows on the mountains. And how many of those did he see? I don't even know. He led trail rides. And as I said, he is a bomber horse. So you could put a first timer on him, and no matter how scared they were, he took care of them. And, if there was some excitement around, he wouldn't jump or skitter. Actually, he's one of the horses that you could shoot off of if you were a good enough shot. You could shoot at your animals or targets off of him, but he was very determined. And he was one that if you came back from your hunt without any blood on your hands, he was like, wait, like what happened? I know the elk were there, like kind of look at you like you're crummy hunter, which I laugh at, and as he got older, we would head out and we'd load up the string of horses in the trailer, and he was like ready to load up. Like we didn't have to ask him to load up, but he was too old to go. And when we'd come back after that hunt, he was there ready to greet all the other horses and smelling and like, okay, what'd you guys get? Did you get an elk? Was it a bear? What'd you shoot today? And he was so excited about it. I mean, this was his life, and you could just tell that he loved it. He embraced it. I talk about the thick mornings covered in frost and the thick snow and ice and climbing, and he never lost. We do put shoes on our horses, and when they're shod, certain ways they can climb those icy trails. And he always would make it up to the top of the roughest trails. And obviously you want to always be safe with your horses, but certain times on those north sides of the mountains, you might hit that ice. But then springtime comes and you're ready for springtime turkey hunts and more trail rides and stuff like that. And there's that crust of snow and that sign of spring as you see the fresh blades of grass coming through. And then after that, I come to the race of honor. And this is one that I'm sure none of the guides that were part of this race listened to my podcast, because I just very highly doubt it. If you do, thanks for listening. But one time at one of the camps, another outfitter showed up and, tried to big egos. Sometimes there's a bunch of egos, and this guy rides up, young guy with his big ego, and my horse is tougher than your horse. And so one of our guides hopped on Geronimo and they had a race, and guess who won? A race for honor and winning it all. If you know what was won that day. But anyways, he went on so many horses. He even packed out part of Hank's moose. There's just so many memories, and relaxing in the sun with Geronimo that morning, it was just something like so peaceful. And as tough as he was, like he kind of always would turn his nose up at me because, he wasn't a pet. And, standing there and letting me touch him and rub him. And I massage the old horses and kind of release their fascia and do stuff like that with them. And he was one who always kind of sneered at that. But that day when I rode that, he really enjoyed it. And I think he needed it as much as I did that day. And that's something that you can find if you are ever involved with any kind of equine therapy. And so if you're interested in working with horses, you can look in the show notes. There will be links. And I hope that you enjoyed today's guest. I'm going to gather myself up before we get going. So anyways, thank you for joining the show today. And I hope that you enjoy this one, and that if you know somebody who could benefit from equine therapy or fly fishing therapy, I'm talking mostly about horses because the horse stuff is on my heart today. But equine therapy is great, and so is fly fishing therapy. And maybe I will have a fly fishing guide on a future episode, and we'll talk a little bit about the zen that you get with fly fishing and stuff like that. So anyways, without further ado, I want to introduce you to my good friend and family member. We have these friends that are like family, and here's one of them. Welcome back to the Mac Outdoors podcast. I'm pretty excited today because I have my cousin Eddie is visiting me today, and I want to share him with you. And that's kind of an inside joke with us. I guess you're probably a cousin to a lot of people, but
No, just to you and Hank.
So I have my
You're my little
good friend
sister.
Eddie Crane on, and Eddie has an organization that I've been sharing on social media. So those of you who follow me on social media, I try to share Healing America's Heroes every now and then. And even some of you I have referred to go and visit and all of that. But I'm excited today to share Eddie with you, and hopefully he can tell you directly what he does. So Eddie, will you let my listeners know who you are and what you do?
Mia, thank you. And first of all, thank you, Mia, for allowing us to be on here with you and sharing what we do, for our first responders and our veterans. Healing America's Heroes was established in 2014. Okay, we just had our 10-year anniversary. Okay, March the 18th of this month was our 10th year anniversary. And finally we have a home. We started our program. We started Healing America's Heroes in northern New Mexico, okay, in the Chama Tierra Maria area, and was up there for a number of years. In 2022, we were able to lease a facility down here in southeastern New Mexico, and it's Fort Stanton, New Mexico. We are actually converting a minimum security prison over to a veteran outreach and a veteran wellness center. Okay, so our facility actually sits on 70 acres. We've got 30,000 square feet of space. We've got a commercial kitchen. We've got an education center, a trade school. Our facility is owned by the state, and we've got a 20-year lease with them. So we're here to stay. And this is our new home, Fort Stanton, New Mexico, 250 Blackjack Pershing Trail. Fort Stanton, New Mexico. And what we do, we help our veterans, both male with their PTSD and our female veterans with our PTSD, also with post-traumatic stress. And then with our female veterans, we help them with their MST, which is military sexual trauma. And we do it through fly fishing and horse therapy. Okay, and we're proud to say we are a recreational therapy program. And we started this in 2014 as a recreational therapy program, and we've stuck to our guns and kept it that way. For instance, when a person gets involved and comes through our program, if they join, for instance, the fly fishing, the first thing they're issued is a fly rod and a fly tying kit. Okay, our program are 5 days long. Okay, so they come in, and when they come in, they get issued a room. Okay, we usually have they usually come in on a Sunday, and we like to have it's a 5-day program. We like to go Monday to Friday, and we come in on Sunday. We usually have a little gathering, a barbecue of some kind to get introduced, get everybody set up in their rooms, and then go. And then Monday morning we start. If you're in the fly fishing program, like I said, you get issued a fly rod and a fly tying kit. If you're in the horse program, you get issued a horse. And so those are your horse and your fly rod and fly tying kit for the week. And that's how we do. We are a recreational therapy program, so we talk a lot about pressure and release, and like in fly tying, for instance, the we can release a lot of pressure. We put a lot of focus. We focus and put our mind back, into in line, basically, and the opportunity to cast, for and to put that little fly right there in that corner, right there by that rock where that fish is going to be, maybe, it's all the thrill, and it's all exciting, and we love the opportunity to help our veterans. And since we moved down here, Mia, we were actually able to extend our opportunities out to our first responders and also couples. Okay, that's something that I had always thought of, but never had the opportunity to work with, and that was our couples retreat, to have our couples. So we had our first couples retreat last year, and it was a complete success. So we've got, I think, 3 or 4 set up for this year, and also our first responders. We are working with first responder firefighters, police officers to help them as well. And we've got a couple of weeks scheduled out during the summer program for them. So to see our venue and see what we've got, we invite you to go to our website, healingamericasheroes.org, and that'll give you an idea of what we have here on our 70 acres. We've got 48 beds. We've got a commercial kitchen, so we can feed 50 and sleep 50 at one time. So that's a big step, this opportunity arose. So we've been working on this for a couple of years to get down to Fort Stanton, and this was a prison that had been shut down in 2015. So we reopened it up in 2022. And like I said, Mia, we're converting it back into a veteran outreach and a veteran wellness center for our veterans and first responders. And it's come along great. We started in Chama, in the Chama Tierra Maria area. That was a great place to start. It was great to be there. I couldn't have found a better place to start the program. But boy, it's great to be in Fort Stanton, and have our own facility. We have, I even got my own office, for Christ's sake. Not as nice as yours, but yeah. So, yes, ma'am. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. But yeah, and like I said, we have. If you get on our website, healingamericasheroes.org, you can either sign up for an application to come through our program, or if you want to volunteer for our program, You know, the way we've got this set up, Mia, right now, a veteran can actually come through our program 4 times. Okay. One would be she's, you know, say for you to, if you were to come through the program and you signed up for the fly fishing program, then I would ask you to come back and help your sisters in the next female veteran program or the next female program, help them as an an instructor or a mentorship for the next group of veterans that could come in. And then you can join the horse program and then be a volunteer for that as well. So yeah. So
So
it's pretty
they
cool.
could come as an attendee and then come back as a mentor for either the fly fishing or the horse.
Correct.
That's cool.
Correct. Yes, yes. And we do need a lot of people like you, Mia, that know how to handle horses and that are great with the public. And you know, you'd be a great volunteer. By the way.
and I plan to volunteer one of these days.
I know. You're good. We'll get you down here one of these days. You know, it'll be fun when you do come and visit us. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I have several plans to get down there. And we were talking before we turned on the recording about some of the projects that I've been working on. And I've been so close to Fort Stanton a few different times. And it's like just timing. It's like, you know, immediately I have to go from one thing to another thing and there's not time. And so one of these days we're going to make the time and come visit and enjoy the place with you and see everything. Cause I've been on the website and seen it there, but I want to see it in person.
And I invite everybody to go on our website. But you know, Mia, like you were just saying there, how busy you are. You know, you did this all your own. You know, that's a good job. You know, we're pretty proud of you. Very proud of you, actually. Very proud. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and for the listeners, I'll kind of back up a little bit because Eddie and I have known each other since before my daughter was born. You know, we've known each other for a long time. We've known each other. Eddie was a ski instructor at Wolf Creek ski area, and he was friends with all the other instructors. And I kind of met through that way. And of course, way back then, all the ladies were after you, and I assume they probably still are. But Eddie actually, he knew horses and cattle and stuff like that. Since I grew up around horses and cattle, like it was kind of like meeting a family member way back then. So that's why he's my cousin Eddie.
Yep. And I'm her to Leah, I'm her drunk Uncle Eddie.
Yeah.
That's her daughter. She's pretty cool.
And so it's been really neat to see the progress because we actually used to guide hunts together and stuff like that as well. And one of my favorite memories is hunting in the Sergeants and guiding over there.
Oh,
that's such a cool place.
Yeah, and you know, quite honestly, I put in my hunts this year, and like my third option was like the Sergeants. I had to put it in. You know, I put for some hunts down here in this area. But man, that last one, I had to put in Sergeants, see if we get it, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. You know, we have here at Fort Stanton, where we're at now, you know, the climate is really different than northern New Mexico. So we've got a lot more opportunity to be outside. And so once we have our schedule set up through October, and then we're going to take November and December off for the holidays, and then start up in January for our winter programs, which, you know, with our therapy programs, Mia, we have to find programs that opens both sides of the brain, okay? And that's where fly fishing, for instance, you know, you have to cast with your right, and you have to open that left hand and set that hook right there, you know, and the same thing with the horse, you know, you have to, you know, if you're going to turn left, you put pressure and release, and, you know, so we've created a really good program for this, you know, and so we do that through the summer. And then we go into our winter programs. And so we've finally decided that we're going to start with our guitar lessons and our piano, and that's going to open up to both sides of the brain. Plus, we're going to probably go back to, I can't get out of the ski area. You know, we've got a beautiful ski area here, you know, Sierra Blanca ski area. And so the adaptive ski program has gotten a hold of us to help the veterans that come through the adaptive ski. So, you know, here I am back in the ski slope, but it's cool. I love it. It was fun. I got to ski with my grandson first time this year. So that was, you know, so that's, you know, it's been good. It's been really good. And so, you know, if you have any questions, please get on our website, healingamericasheroes.org. If you know, or call me personally, 575-756-8557. You can sign up for one of our programs, or you can sign up as a volunteer. Everything's really easy. If you have any questions, you know, of course, get a hold of us.
Yeah. And so what do you have coming up? You have some scheduled this spring? Do you have
You
a
know,
few classes, or what's your schedule looking like?
yeah, actually, you know what? We're starting up, we're in contract right now with the Department of Veteran Services to do a veteran outreach program in Lee County, which is in the Hobbs, New Mexico area, Hobbs, Lovington area, down in the southeastern part of the state. And we're going to be like Barnum and Bailey. We're going to take our show on the road. You know, we're going to take our horses down there. We're going to take our fly fishing and the whole program down there. And we have 2 3-day events down in Hobbs for our female veterans, and then for our our male veterans. Then we come back in here and we fall right into our first program that is April the 22nd, right after that. And then it goes in, I think we have, what is that? Our first event is April the 22nd through the 26th. And then we move into, you know, we have our first women's program in May. You know, our first responder program is in May 27th through the 30th. So we've got a very good schedule going. You know, we're so blessed to be able to open up to first responders. You know, and that, to me, that, you know, Mia, that's been a field where it's kind of not been ignored, but, you know, there needs to be more attention put to those people, like the nurses. You know, through all this pandemic, the COVID and all this stuff and everything that's been happening, you know, and all the trauma and stuff, you know, that, you know, everybody needs a release, you know. So we're really reaching out to our first responders, and we look forward to that actually a lot, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, they're taken for granted pretty often, I think.
Yes, you know, God, that first lady that takes that 911 call, oh man, you know.
Yeah, they get the brunt of all the frantic, who knows
you know,
what when they answer the call.
They gotta keep it calm, you know. God bless them, man. It's, you know, they got my respect, you know.
Yeah. And so when you're developing the program, what are some of the challenges that you have faced along the way? I mean, I know you started up in Chama and TA and then moved. What were some of the challenges that caused the move? I mean, and really the move was kind of a blessing to you.
You know, it was, like I said, Chama was a good place to start. It really was, you know, and to grind out the programs, you know, the cost of running a program up in the Chama area, just because of where it is, you know, was very expensive. You know, it was costing us almost $3,500 per veteran to put a program on for a week. Okay, so you get that's $35,000 for a week just for the veterans. Then we have to have the food, and then we have to have the volunteers. We get motels for them. Well, here at our facility here, with our facility that we got here, our 24 rooms, our 48 beds, we can house and keep everybody right here on the facility. You know, our meals are better. You know, we get better quality service here, better quality of food. You know, and so it's been a blessing to be down here. It really has. Plus, you know, I was actually raised here in Fort Stanton as a little kid. My mother worked here when it was a tuberculosis hospital for veterans. So
Wow.
it's like making the vicious circle, you know, coming back.
Coming full circle back to the beginning, and
I call it the vicious circle.
Vicious circle.
Yeah.
And so how many horses do you have down there now? I bet the weather is better for caring for them.
You know what? We've lost since December. We lost 4 of our therapy horses. You know,
I have a couple more for you then.
Good. We're gonna go get them.
I'll bring you a couple.
Okay. So listen. So right now we have 8 horses here on the premise. We got 4 mares and we've got 4 geldings, and actually 2 of the horses were donated to them, and they're young horses, so they don't really fit the bill. right now, so we're working on that, but yeah, we got some good therapy horses. Actually, you can get on our website, healingamericasheroes.org, and last week we did a Native American Youth Council program up at the Inn of the Mountain Gods on the Mescalero Reservation. And there was about 50 Native American kids that came out and to this program. And so we took 2 horses out there and we let them paint the horses. And so they did the circle around the eyes and the hands. And so what we did is we had them do their homework and find out what those emblems meant and why the emblem. It was pretty interesting, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. So we're getting a lot more into the community here, and the community is supporting us big time here. We're blessed to have all the support we're having here. Our state representative has been very, very supportive of us, and he's very supportive of first responders. He was actually the fire chief in Ruidoso before he became our state senator. Okay, or I mean our state representative, Harlan Vincent. And so he's got a compassion for first responders, and then he's got a compassion for veterans. So he really supports us. So we're blessed with all the support we're getting from everybody around here, and it's been a good change. It's been good, positive change for us, We're working with New Mexico Behavioral Health with the first responders and the veterans as well too, and the Native Americans. We're able, because of our where we're located, we've got 1.5 miles of the Bonita Creek or River Creek running through our property. Okay, so we're talking with New Mexico Behavioral Health about the sweat lodges and doing ceremonies for the Native Americans and how they welcome their warriors back home and their traditions and stuff. So we're really looking forward to the summer and to what's happening in the next year, actually, Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's good.
you mentioned that you're representative, and a lot of people don't even know who their representatives are. And on my podcast, we talk about why it's important to know your legislators and why you need to be in communication. And you right now are giving us a great example of why. And how is it that if we can let either our representatives or our senators know, how can they help you?
They could come on our website. They could call our state representative, our state senator. Our state representative is Harlan Vincent. One thing about Representative Vincent is he is a hunter. He is a guide. Okay, he guides for a local outfitter here in town. He really supports the kids, and he really supports, like I said, first responders and the veterans. And it's good to know people like that, and they support the Second Amendment and they believe in our rights, so that's a good feeling, and it's good to know,
Yeah.
and our one of our veterans that came through our program this summer nominated our dog Foxy. I tell everybody I have a little dog, Foxy, okay, and Foxy, and she's been with me since she was 5 weeks old. I owned her dad, and so she's a very therapeutic support animal, and so this lady, I told the group, I said everybody should spend 30 minutes with Foxy on their own, just not mandatory, just do it, and this lady did, and I would see her out here sitting in the grass crying with Foxy and, just, going through different things. Well, she nominated Foxy for the John Henry Service Animal of the Year through New Mexico Behavioral Health. And she won. And she got sent to Santa Fe. We were up with the lieutenant governor, and, she got all sorts of awards and recognitions. She actually got asked to be on the floor of the Senate on the floor of the House of Representatives with our representative Harlan Vincent. He noted her, on the floor. That was pretty cool, But and that's how we got involved with New Mexico Behavioral Health, So yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah. And the behavioral health, are they giving you additional guidance? Because I know you knew a lot about different therapies and ways to deal with people and stuff, but are they giving you other tools and guidance with that?
You know what they are supporting our recreational therapy, okay? And they are supporting our wanting to work with the Native Americans on their traditional ways. Okay, that's what they like about Healing America's Heroes. You know, we do have on our staff, we do have a counselor and we do have a therapist, you know, but it's not mandatory that the veteran talk to the counselor or the therapist between 1 and 2 o'clock every day. You know, we got them on staff, but it's not mandatory. And you know, that I'd rather them talk to that 4-legged therapist out there, that horse. That horse is the best counselor therapist you can find, you know, and it's been proven, you know, and we've seen it, you know. A really good example was last year when we had one of our couples retreats, you know. We had each couple just walk down the road with a horse. And the woman on one side, the man on the other, and they walked down the road, walked down there about 100 yards and turned around and come back, you know. And that was all it took. It was amazing, you know. They went down and they come back with a smile, you know. So, you know, so we are recreational, and I keep stressing that and emphasizing that we are totally recreational therapy, you know. And glad and proud to say that as far as I know, Mia, we are the only recreational equine program in the state of New Mexico for veterans, specifically for veterans. Now, there's other programs that work with the general public and work with the veterans, but we are specifically for veterans, and we are the only 501c3. So it's no cost to the veterans when they come through our program, or the first responders.
Yeah. And so with the no cost, who's paying the expenses? How is that paid?
We go, thank you for asking that. That's a great question. We had a House Bill 204 this year on the House of Representatives that reached as far as the Senate Finance Committee, but we did not get to the Senate floor. But we do have some capital outlay money coming, and then we have a contract with New Mexico Behavioral Health, and so they're going to be funding us through the year. I mean, through the year for this upcoming year, actually. So yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, and then do you take other donations or?
What we do is we look for grants. Okay, right now we're in the process of finding a grant, looking for a grant writer. But we do grants, fundraisers, a lot of fundraisers, donations, you know, foundation grants is you know, stuff like that. Yes. But yeah, that was a good question. Thank you.
And I just ask because I know I did, like on Facebook, I did the birthday fundraiser to donate.
Yes, you did.
Hopefully they sent you a check because I never saw that they did. Okay.
Yes, you know what? And you and one of my buddies from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan did the same thing, almost back to back. You know, so yeah, I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that.
Well, I'm glad that they actually sent it to you because I'd received like no notice or notification or anything. And I was like, I don't know.
Let you know. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't have to let me know. They should let me know. Well, that's good to know if we do stuff like that, that it does go to the causes that we're trying to support.
And you can go right to our website, you know, healingamericasheroes.org, and you can donate there. So we can, you know, so donate on our website, please, and help us. Come by. If you guys are ever in New Mexico, if you're ever in Lincoln County, you know, there's a lot of history in this area down here, you know. Lincoln County, the Lincoln County Wars, Billy the Kid, Smokey Bear, you know, Ruidoso is the richest quarter horse race in the United States is run here in Ruidoso, New Mexico. The best quarter horses in the world are run right here in New Mexico, right here in Ruidoso. So there's a lot happening around here, you know, and it's good. So if you guys are ever in New Mexico, ever in this area, please look us up. You know, look us up on our website, and we got our phone number on there, and give us a call.
Yeah, and that's something Leah and I just took spring break, and we went down to Tucson and over to Tombstone, and we did that loop. And I've been to the Billy the Kid Museum is that Fort Sumner?
No, that's Fort Stanton, right here where we're at.
Fort Stanton? Is
Yeah,
it where the
okay.
Billy the Kid Museum is?
Yeah, there's a Billy the Kid there's a Billy the
Maybe there's
Kid
a couple.
Museum in Fort Sumner, New Mexico, and then there's one in Lincoln, New Mexico.
Okay.
Fort
So
Sumner is where he's built, where he's buried.
buried. Yeah, that's where we've been, is where he's
There you
buried.
go.
So the point of that is that I need to, rather than doing that loop, we should head down your way and make the loop down there, because she's all about all the Old West history, and she loves researching and learning about that. So
You know, that the Lincoln County War Billy Kid, but you know what's the cool story too is Smokey Bear. You know, he's buried right here in Captain. You know, he's an icon, man. He's got his own address. He's got his own zip code. Him and Santa Claus are only two people have their own zip codes. That's pretty cool.
that is pretty cool. I did not know that. Fun fact for the day.
Very good.
Smokey
That's
Bear.
it.
We'll have to share the Smokey the Bear story sometime for those
I'd
listeners
love
that
to.
might not know who he is. I mean,
Yeah, and I grew up with him, and yeah, it's a lot of history around here. It's fun. It's good fun history too. You know,
Mhm.
in the first weekend in August, the first weekend in August, we have the reenactment of Billy the Kid. You know, that's always cool. You know, there's a little parade. You know, and then 4th of July. You know, the Smokey Bear Stampede and Rodeo, I think is listed as one of the top 10 small rodeos in the nation,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
and yeah, it's a big happening thing. Captain's is rocking during the 4th of July.
It sounds
Then it
like
goes
it.
back, then on the 5th, it goes back to sleep.
We'll skip the Red Rider and head down to that this time.
Hey, yeah, well, yeah, there you go. Well, no, do both. I don't know. But,
It's hard
yeah,
to be in two places at once, right?
yeah, on it.
Absolutely. Are you guys going to do, you're talking about rodeo. Are you guys going to do a team roping fundraiser this year or no?
You know what we're gonna do? We're actually, when I get done with you, I have a Zoom meeting with the county commission of Lincoln County to, actually, we're gonna do a fundraiser, dinner, dance, Calcutta, team roping, the Mormon roping. You know what a Mormon roping is? Where they do the rope, they rope donkeys on foot. That's fun. Then,
Oh
and
gosh.
your prize is you get to keep the donkey.
Oh, I want to do the team roping. I've tried roping. You've seen my little donkey, and
Yeah,
I've
I
roped
love
her, and holy moly, I talk
it.
about get drug around.
Yeah.
She's tiny too.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, we got some events and a dinner dance and maybe one of the things that we do have this winter. You were talking about fundraisers, Mia. October 11th, 12th, and 13th. Okay, we're having a chuck wagon cook-off here at our facility here at Fort Stanton. Okay, I think we've got close to 13 chuck wagons that are signed up.
Oh,
We've got a
wow.
local band playing for us at night. We got vendors going to be in the infield of our facility here. We've got a lot happening in October. That's really going to be a fun time. We're looking forward to that, and it's going to be a big fundraiser for Healing America's Heroes. That's going
Very
to be
cool. Do you share those events on your website also, or
yes,
like
ma'am.
Facebook events or something like that?
Yes, I'll make sure that all of that stuff is on there. Yes, I'll make
Okay.
sure. Yes, it'd be great like if you wanted to come down with your SCI or your whatever. I'd love for you guys to come down. That's going to be a
Yeah.
big fun time. We're going to have all the chuck wagons all around the facility here. We've kind of got it already laid out, and it's going to be a fun time.
Very cool.
Yeah, it
Well,
will
I'm
be.
excited for
Uh,
all of it.
we're going to have a golf tournament fundraiser again this summer. And then again that fundraiser dinner dance Calcutta. We've got set up too. So yeah, it's going to be a good summer. Looking forward to it.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm excited for it.
But it's good to talk with you, Mia. Thank you for this opportunity of being on your show. And I wish you the best. And if there's anything I can ever do for either, you, Leah, or Hank, let me know.
Absolutely. Thank you for being on.
You bet. What a pleasure.
Hey, this is Lloyd Bailey, the Armed Lutheran, host of the Armed Lutheran Radio podcast, reminding you that the podcast you're listening to is a proud member of the Self-Defense Radio Network. Check out all the great content at selfdefenseradio.net.